Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at problem 136 on LeetCode. It is the single number. It states, given a known empty array of integers, every element appears twice except for one. Find that single one. Your algorithm should have a linear runtime complexity. Could you implement it without using extra memory? So we could definitely implement this without using extra memory, and the runtime, we can have it in linear runtime. So my goal is to limit the loop for this by n divided by 2, but for that I will need to use extra memory. So however, the solution I'm going to give you guys is very optimal, and it runs under 1 millisecond. If you guys are looking into learning more about bit shifting, I will recommend this book because we're going to be using the XOR operator and the AND operator for this solution here. So the reason why I'm doing this is because first of all, I had seen this problem like a year ago and I had solved it on the website, and I got it at 3 milliseconds using maps, and then eventually after reading this book I was able to bring it down to 1 millisecond. So there's a big time difference when you use bitwise operators and bit manipulation to actually solve problems. So with this book, you guys will be able to learn cool tricks on how to do a lot of different things. I think if you look at it here, it tells you almost the things that you'll be learning: counting bits, parity, counting leading zeros, counting trailing zeros. There's a lot of things here that you will learn about bitwise manipulation that you can actually use to optimize your programs. Okay, so let's get into actually coding this problem. So what I've done so far is just create a file called valid single in Dart. All right, it's a dot file, and I'm going to switch to presentation mode. All right, so first of all, what I'm going to do is create the main method so we can look at how the XOR operator work and how we're going to get the solution for this. So first, what I'm going to do is just use the print method here, and what I'm going to do is XOR 5 with 5. All right, so when you XOR a number by itself, you get 0. So we're going to run this, and you guys can see that we get 0. So let's try to XOR 0 with something else. So what this is going to do is reflect whatever we XOR with 0. So that's going to give us 2. All right, so it doesn't give us a number back. So now this makes more sense why they said that the numbers only appear twice, right? But through that book, I realized that with XOR, what you can do is, if you have multiples of 2, right, on the occurrence of the number that you want, something like this, it will still give you 2 as a result. However, if you have an odd number of occurrences of a number such as 5 like this, then this is going to go and give you 7, because this is going to give you 0, but then 2 XOR 5 is going to give you 7, right? So we can apply this logic to this question. But my goal was to optimize this in such a way where we can break the loop time by n divided by 2. All right. So what I'm going to do here is just create that single number function here, and this is going to take a list of int. So unfortunately, Dart doesn't have arrays. So they say that their lists are quote-unquote arrays, but I like to say no. So what we're going to do is create a variable. So this is going to be low, and low is going to equal 1. All right, and this is going to take care of the left half of the list, and var high equals nums dot length minus 1. This is going to take care of the right half of the list. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out if the length is actually odd or even. So I'm going to create a boolean is odd variable, and then we're going to be able to use some bit shifting here. So we're going to say nums.length, right, -1, and then we're going to AND this by 1 to figure out if it's odd or not. So if it's not equal to 0, that means that it's odd. All right. So this is how you can figure out if a number is odd or even. I just gave you one more trick that you can actually find from that book. So here we find odd/even length of list. So next, what I want to do is just say if is odd, then we want to apply the odd computation to find the unique number within their list. All right. So I'm going to say while low is less than high, right? Then what we want to do is we want to say that the nums.0, that's why I started this at 1, right? So we're going to store everything in 0 to save space. Is going to XOR equal to, right? And then we'll do nums with the low subscript. All right, so here we are XORing or XORing the lower half numbers in the list, and then we're just storing that in num0, and then we have to do the same thing for high, right? So you're gonna do high here, and this is going to be for the upper half. All right, and then let's not forget to increment and decrement low and high. All right, so that we can have this loop here converge, right, until low and high equal each other, and it's gonna break there. So what we're going to do next is handle the middle case here, because we haven't handled the middle number in that list. So if the number is odd, right, so eventually let's say that we have 5, or let's say we have 10 or 5, right, we're just going to go for 0 and 4, 1 and 3, right, and then it's going to try 2 and 2, but that's not going to work. So we need to figure out, we have to XOR the middle number that's going to be at 2. All right, so what we're going to do is say that the num0, right, is going to, we're going to XOR it with nums, and then we want to do nums.length, right, -1, because we took care of the first one here, and then we're going to divide that by 2 to get the middle number. All right, so we're gonna do that, and here we should be done. So here we XOR the middle number in the list, right? Else, then if it's not odd, then it's even. So here we actually have the code for the even section, right? So we could just copy that and paste this here, and all we have to do is return nums0, and that's it, and we're done with this algorithm. So it's time for us to just test things out and see how that works. So what I'm going to do is create main. So I'm going to say main. All right, and I'm going to do print, and we're going to do a single number, and we're just going to pass in the list here. So I'm going to do 2, 1, 2. Okay, and we should expect 1 as the output. So you can see that we do get 1. Let's do this as 10 here and run that, and you can see that we get 10. Okay, so what happens if we had 2 and 2 here. So we had multiples of the number, which are, so we had 4 numbers, it's multiple of 2, right? So it's a multiple of 2. So we still get 10 back, all right? So as long as we have multiples of 2s of those numbers, we'll still be able to get the right answer as well. Because all it's going to do is going to XOR this, and this is going to give 0. And then this other 2 is going to give 0. 0 XOR to 10 is going to give back 10. What else can we try? We can try another 10 and try 20. So we should expect 20 as the number, and we get 20 back. So this solution actually on LeetCode runs within 0 and 1 second. So sometimes when I run the algorithm, it will say, well, it beats 100%, and sometimes when I run the algorithm, it will say it beats 90%. But I think it's just the fluctuation in the way that they test their code. But this runs very optimal, and yeah, I'm glad to share you guys this solution. If you guys like the video, please leave a feedback on the comment section below, and like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.